Hello dear friends, welcome to my channel Study with Aman. Today we are going to begin with CBSE Class 10 English from the book First Flight. Our lesson for today is chapter A Letter to God written by G.L. Fuentes. In this video we'll understand the summary in a simple and easy way. So stay tuned and watch the video till end to get a complete understanding of the lesson. If you find this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications of our latest videos. So let's get started. Hello dear students. So today we are diving into a really powerful story about faith, about desperation, and a twist ending that just perfectly shows you the irony of having an absolute, unshakable belief. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Imagine you prayed for a miracle and it actually shows up, but you're totally convinced it came from, well, the wrong place or the wrong address. What do you do then? And that's pretty much the core problem in the story we are looking at today. A Letter to God by G.L. Fuentes is this really simple but powerful tale about a farmer and a faith so strong it might just blind him to the truth. Okay, so let's get into a story. Starts with this farmer, Lencho. He is a poor farmer and his whole world, his whole livelihood depends on his field of corn. Imagine this. He's got this simple life, living with his family and the only house on a hill looking out for his crops, his family's survival. It all comes down to one good harvest, and that harvest, well, it's all up to the rain. And you know what? At first, it looks like his prayers have been answered. The rain starts to fall and Lencho is just thrilled with joy. But that feeling doesn't last long. Things take a really sudden violent turn. That nice gentle rain suddenly turns into this crazy hailstorm that just pummels his fields for a whole hour. When it's over, everything is covered in white, like a layer of salt. So once the storm finally passes, the damage is its total. There is not a single leaf left. The crop is totally gone. And just like that, Lencho's family is going to face starvation. The stakes are incredibly high. But here is the thing. Even looking at all this destruction, Lencho doesn't give up. He doesn't fall under despair. Lencho has what you would call unshakable faith. It's profound, almost childlike belief that in a situation this bad, he believes that there is only one person who can fix it. Not the government, not his friends, just God directly. So what does he do to him? The next step is completely logical. He sits down and writes a letter. He addresses it simply to God, lays out his whole plan, and then just pops it in the mailbox at the local post office. And he is not vague about it either. He is super specific. He asks for exactly 100 pesos. And that's just not some random number he pulled out of the air. He calculated it. And that's exactly what he needs to plant his fields again. So you can imagine what happens next. This letter, addressed to God, makes its way through the system and of course lands in the hands of the post office workers. So this is where things really get interesting, okay? So at first, the postman sees this and he and the postmaster, they both just had a good laugh about it. A letter to God. But that laughter dies down pretty quick. The postmaster, who's described as this kind, friendly man, is actually really touched by it. He's just blown away by the depth of this farmer's faith. And he decides, I can't let this man's faith be broken. I have to do something. So this idea just sparked something in the postmaster. He puts out a little collection box for an act of charity. He asks all his employees to chip in what they can and even gives a part of his own salary. He gathers up everything he can, put it in an envelope, and then signs the reply with just one word, God. But here is the catch. Even with everyone's help, the postmaster just can't get the full 100 pesos. He only manages to pull together 70 pesos. And this little 30 pesos gap, well, that's going to be the key to this whole story's twist. So, this brings us to the big moment, the climax, where Lencho gets the answer to his prayer and we get the story's real clever, ironic twist. So Lencho goes back to the post office. They hand in the letter and he does not show the slightest bit of surprise. And he opens it, he counts the money and his face just darkens. He's not happy, he's not at all grateful, but he is just furious. So why is he so mad? Well, in Lencho's head, the logic is very simple. He believes God is perfect. God couldn't make a mistake and he certainly wouldn't send less than what he has asked for. So if God has sent the full 100 pesos, there can only be one other explanation. And who does he point the finger at? You guessed it, the very people who went out of the way and sacrificed their own money to help him. He instantly decides that the post office employees are, and this is a direct quote, a bunch of crooks who must have stolen the other 30 pesos. So without missing a beat, he marches right back to the counter, grabs another piece of paper and writes a second letter to God. And in this letter, he asks for the rest of the money, the missing 30 pesos. The story shows us the incredible power that faith can have, but it also throws a light on how human kindness often happens quietly behind the scenes. The central message is that paradox, that a faith that is so strong, so absolute, can actually make you blind to the goodness and the help that's sitting right there in front of you. The very people he called crooks were actually the answer to his prayer. And that's what the story leaves us chewing on. And it's this one big question. Can absolute faith also be a form of blindness? At what point does that unshakable belief stop being a strength and start making you miss the truth? It's a fascinating thing to think about.